What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let me start out by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. I got it right. Mo B, I got it right. I got it right because I made it up, bruh. And you're muted. That's the first time you ever did that, bruh. Uh-oh. Get off of mute. Which way did he go? There you go. Yeah. What's going on, man? There go Mary. Uh-oh, we got couples all up in this joint, man. What's up, Mary?
I had to bring her on.
Oh, you have to. You know how we do. Well, it's good to see you, Mary.
Because we can't hear.
Tell her I said it's good to see her. He can't see her. Anyway, there's Marcella.
Hey, guys. Hey, Marianne.
She
can't hear me.
I call Marcella to pick and choose.
I'm gonna have to sign back out. I'm gonna have to sign out.
So she want to come on. She got it like that. She pick and choose.
I wish it was like
sign out and come back in.
that. I wish it was like that.
Hey, look.
Oh, they went out.
He's coming back today. We got Relationship Roundtable, all right. But today is a different type of Relationship Roundtable because I got my best friends. They're going to be on the show in a second. Brian K. and his wife Lisa Santiago.
You know what? You need to quit.
Her name. That's her name. Lisa.
I understand Santiago. Yeah, see. I understand.
Now I can hear everybody. What's going on, y'all?
Can I be me?
Hola.
Anyway, this is a Relationship Roundtable, okay? And this is where we ask some questions about relationships and we get some answers from us. But today, I call them relationship experts. That's not what they got on all of their Facebook and all of that stuff, but I call them relationship experts. And here's why. I was listening to their podcast one day, and the chemistry that they have is, look, they bounce off each other, number one. And if you listen to the podcast, they really bounce off of each other for real. They do a lot of bouncing off. You know what? I'm done. All right. Hey, man, everybody say hello to Brian.
Hello.
Hey.
What up? Oh, man.
Hi, Lisa. Hey, Brian.
Hello, sister. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hey,
what's going
on? I gotta confess something to my wife.
Lord.
Last time I was on here, I proposed marriage to Marcella. I sure did.
I saw it.
And she said no.
But you know what? I love these two, man. These guys are they're just remarkable because what they do is they teach people how to be great. I'll put it like that, financially in your business. They teach people how to be great. But you know, as I sat and listened to their podcast, I was like, the hell with the money. All right. I'm trying to live vicariously through their sex life. Okay. So
wow.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait.
You didn't hear.
Wait. Did I miss something at the intro or something?
No, like
You did.
seriously.
Yeah, I'm
Let
telling
him
you.
go, baby. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
No. Speak on it, Lisa. Speak on it, Lisa. I'm gonna put Gina in here. Speak on it, Lisa.
Hello, Gina. How you doing?
So my brother.
Okay. So you gonna blame it on your brother? Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
It's my brother's fault that I am 55 years old with somebody who still want to be on the chandeliers because he gave my husband this concoction.
What about fans? Fans? Did they include fans too?
Hey, Mo. It's like this. Mo. It's like.
I don't know if I'm old enough to be on this one.
You and me both. I am not old
like this right here.
or I am too old.
They did not. I hope you said the disclaimer. You did say the disclaimer plus XXX.
I don't want to call it that. We married. We're married. And the marital bed is not defiled.
It's undefiled.
Oh, we know that. We know that.
I'm gonna tell you though.
Believers, okay? The marital bed is not defiled. Come on.
It's very, like I said, when I watch the podcast, it's refreshing to see a couple that act like that. Okay, they act like the teenagers. All right,
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Teenagers.
Our bodies don't say teenager, but
I'm looking.
That's the other side of the story. It's like
I'm trying to see because I was gonna ask. I started to ask questions. Y'all know how I am. Okay, started to ask questions.
Welcome to ask questions.
Going to the bleachers. You know what I'm saying? Just doing it out. Well, let's start it off. Forget all of this. Let's start it off.
Before that, Greg, I said, Brian, the only part about that is they say black don't crack. I said, unless it's 6 a.m. and you got to get up out the bed in the morning and go to work.
Amen.
That's when it cracked.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna talk about that too. We're blessed.
Greg, stop.
That we both have our offices in home. Her office is down the hall from mine. So we get out of bed and we go to our offices down the hall. Okay. And still the traffic jam can make us a little bit late sometimes. But no, we work from home and we've never, since we've known each other, we've never worked outside the home the whole time. Okay. Yes. Cool. People ask us all the time, how are you around your wife all day long, working with her and living with her and still be in love and still having fun? And I give them the answer. If you want to know, here's the secret. I don't look at it like I'm working with my wife.
Come on now.
Working with my best friend. That's who I'm working with.
There you go.
I'm working with my best
friend. How long
friend.
have you guys been together? How long have you been together and how long have you been married?
He said that's
we've been together for 7 years.
Since,
we've been together for 7
2015,
8 years.
8 years.
And we've been married, huh?
We got together in 2015. I was 47 when I met my wife.
He's probably right, Lisa.
Right.
He's probably right because I can't keep that in my head either.
I never do.
She get the year wrong all the time.
I get the year wrong all the time.
I sometimes I fake the funk, but I'm gonna tell you, I never remember.
But I will tell you,
she just got married.
That was a blessing. We were 47 when we met in person. Okay,
grown up.
We had some scars. We've both been through some things. We both had been through marriages and relationships and gotten our butts kicked by life and online dating and all this stuff. And by the time we got together, we were ready for each other. It was easy.
He was ready for me.
Right.
Come on.
Greg, I have a men's group, okay? And men's group, I've had it since 2013. We meet twice a month so men can talk it out. And for 2 years, because I was single for 10 years. I was dating everybody, and dating ain't the right word, okay? I was having them come to my house. Everybody.
It was a sport, like pool.
Yeah. I had the nice house. I had everything was at my crib, okay? So that's all I was doing. But none of them was going to be my wife. They were quality women. They were good people, but I never felt I was going to keep any of them. I didn't have to keep none of them. So
I know a few people like that.
I'll tell you. 2 years,
Gina, I know somebody like that too.
In the circle, we prayed for God to send Brian the right woman for him.
Amen.
That's what my prayer was. It changed. I wanted God to send the right woman for me. I took off all the hooks. I didn't care what she looked like, how tall, how short, none of that stuff. I didn't care about personality, none of that stuff. I just said, God, send the right woman for me. And for 2 years, me and other brothers, corporate prayer, arm in arm, rocking like this. And then God delivered Lisa. And I'll tell you the story how we met if we have time.
God.
Well, we have time.
We have plenty of time. We have plenty of time.
No, because Brian can talk. Brian can talk, so we might not have no
I
time.
want Greg to take the lead. I want Greg to lead.
We might not have no
Greg,
time.
You might not want Greg to take the lead.
You got to get in where you fit in.
So, Brian.
Yes, ma'am.
Gina and Marcella, they nasty, okay? So, look, here's the thing. No, they ain't nasty. I'm just saying. They're very amorous, all right? And
Yes. We are.
I love the fact that they do what they do. And the podcast is great itself. The information is great, all right? I'm just going to put it out there. But, you know, like I said, I lost the podcast intentions because I'm checking out the aura and the chemistry between Brian and Lisa.
We was faking, man.
That's what I told them. I said, hey man, y'all gotta come on the show.
I was checking.
Go ahead, Marcel. You want to say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you met Lisa, and I know you said God sent her, how did you know that you know? And for this is actually for both of you. How did you know that you guys were the right one?
Because it was the best sex he ever had in his life. That's why.
I'm glad you worded it like that. Okay, because I don't have to give a long version now. I can give the short version. How did I know?
Don't leave out nothing.
No, I'm giving a short version.
Well, you can answer for you then.
The day I met her in person, okay, I was giving a workshop in Charlotte, North Carolina, how to sell your services like a superstar. I lived in Greensboro, which is an hour and a half away. So I had hired a woman to check people in and guide them, but she hadn't gotten there yet. I had rented a hall with round tables. So I was there early. I was by myself. I was getting the tables organized. I was thinking about making the coffee. I'm doing everything myself. And I heard these heels come in. I heard the heels on the linoleum in the foyer before I saw her.
Click.
Yes. And then she walked in. She had on a short black mini skirt.
No.
With high heels. And she had a tall blonde mohawk and pretty face and sexy legs and beautiful. She walked in the room. I was like, wow, she was gorgeous. And let me tell you something. I used to take ballroom dancing lessons.
Oh, okay.
So Marcella, when I saw her come in the room, I knew who she was because we had been talking on the phone. I reached out, I took her hand, I swung the lady, I spun the lady out, I brought the lady back home, kissed her.
Come on.
And I spun her back out like a dance move. And and she fell right in with the dance. Now,
say that.
Right after that, she looked, we separated. She saw what was going on and she took charge. She started running the meeting. When the other girl came in, Lisa took control of her. So I was freed up. Like in the first time we met, she freed me up within 15 minutes to just focus on giving a great workshop because she had everything else. And she probably became my wife in that moment.
Wow. Okay. Lisa, your version?
So all of that he said is true. However, I think I became enamored with him before actually physically meeting him for the first time. So before his presentation that he was giving, like he said, he did it in my city, and I was working with him. Now, up to that, I had been working with him, and he wasn't paying me. I was working with him because he was upset with my organization, and I was trying to do damage control.
She was working with me because of my suave. Okay? She was trying to get with your boy. That's what it is.
Hey, Brian.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
It was that kiss and spin. You know what it was.
Well, she hadn't had that yet.
Oh. So at this point, he had been working with me, like I said, virtually and over the phone. We have been virtually working. I had created his collaterals for his upcoming event. I had helped market it through my personal networks, and I had shared with some of my personal contacts. But at a certain point, which was about 10 days before his event, I said to myself, you know, I'm doing all of this work, but he's not paying me, and I need him to go and do whatever he do, whatever, and move on out the way. So at that point, I said to him what I would normally say to my clients, which is at this point, 10 days before your event, we've gotten everything out, everything is set, all the appointments are set, invitation. At this point, we would pray for your event, thinking that would run him away. And I said, so at this point, we would just pray for your event. again.
And what I said was
he said
7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Okay. That means you either call me or I'll call you at 7 a.m. We'll pray every day.
Absolutely.
Boom.
So
And
we started praying together every day at 7 a.m., 15 minutes, always about the event, sometimes less, always about the event, nothing personal until 2 days before his event.
This is what she about to exaggerate. Go ahead.
I'm not exaggerating. I am not. 2 days before the event, he said, "How tall are you?" So 2 things came to my mind. First of all, how tall I am doesn't have anything to do with your event. And the second thought was, he must be short because tall guys don't care how tall you are. So
now let's get to that. I had looked at all her pictures. I was already kind of smitten with her personality, and I thought she was pretty before I met her in person. I'd seen her Facebook pictures, but I couldn't tell how tall she was. So I asked her, and she's 4'11". Now I'm 5'7". So when I found out that she was 4'11", I'm 5'7". Okay, that worked for me. Now if she had said she was 5'11" and I'm 5'7", I would have been less interested, although she probably would have been a great woman. But 4'11" to my 5'7", okay, I'm still interested. I'm still in the game. Okay.
Like Shaquille O'Neal.
Hey, even if she was 5, hey, I'd have went for it, dude.
Oh, no, don't think I haven't now. I have, but Lisa was different. I never saw her as someone just to get the booty. I always saw her as quality, always.
But you got to admit when that happened. That was definitely one of the things. Hey, that was cool. I got that too.
Y'all don't want me to tell y'all about the first time, though. Y'all don't want
Hey, we're gonna get to that.
About the first time.
We're gonna get to that. I get.
Look at Marianne just quiet back there. I don't know what to say. I don't either.
Let me read a couple of these from BG Howard. BG says, "Never have them at the house. That way." I'm sorry. Am I reading it? Yeah. That way, when you have someone at the house, you don't have to worry about anybody else showing up. He also says, Mr. McNeil, I would think that by this point, you'd already know this. She is always right. Even when she's wrong, she's always right.
I go with you on that, bro. It's
Well,
okay.
No.
It's really okay. Okay, it's really okay. We can let her be right as much as she wants because I'm still gonna run how stuff go. She could be right all day long. It's fine.
Well, so let's get these questions. Let's get a couple questions.
You said that out loud, Brian. I'm over here going like, all right, okay. You see that eye roll?
It's still in love. Okay. Again, we was talking before the show started. Lisa and I will always be tight because we live by principles. Okay. We have fun together, but it's principles. Even if we have an argument or disagreement, we never argue for long.
No.
Because it doesn't work. Our central principles are a couple of things that we live by, and we both find it important and we both stick to it. But the first thing is we seek to understand
before being understood.
Especially if there's a disagreement. My job is to try to understand where she's coming from before I make her understand my point. Her job is to understand where I'm coming from before she makes your point, and we both take that serious. Even when we really disagree, it's always short.
All right, it's time for me to go in.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Well, you was gonna give us principles. They're principles. We need to hear their principles.
Time for me to go in.
Whatever.
Now let's ask this question.
Okay.
So you guys been together for 7 years. You know, everything's
8 years as a couple, 7 years married.
Right.
7 years married, 8 years as a couple. You guys all happy, willy-nilly, everything good, flowers and trees and growing around your house and sunshine.
All of that.
All of that good stuff, okay? But if you could go back, you can go back. Is there anything you would change now?
Go back where?
Go back before you got married. Don't play with me.
Before we got married?
Yeah, before you got married. If you could turn back, let's put it like this. If you can go back in time, is there anything you would change about your relationship? How about that?
About our relationship or about no, I don't think so.
You go ahead and answer him first.
No, I don't think so. I was thinking in terms, a lot of people ask, do we wish that we had met before we met and things like that? And I really think that our lives were orchestrated so that we would actually have the amount of experience that we had, the amount of experience and experiences that we had before we got together. It has been become more and more obvious that some of the things that we learned from, some of the mistakes, some of the scenarios that we had, actually helped to shape us into the people that we are and are compatible together as.
Yeah, we would have messed it up if I'd have met her before I did. Okay, y'all ain't gonna believe this, okay? But I one time in my life I was kind of cocky and I thought I had answers. I thought I was a handsome man and all that.
I believe it.
I really believed I could get any woman I wanted. I've even said this to her. If I had met her 10 years before, I could have got you. And she's like, no, you couldn't have, because I was kind of cocky and full of myself.
What's that, bro?
That don't work.
That?
That doesn't
What's
work,
that, bro?
Huh?
Greg, what's that? that pointing that you're now.
I know who I am.
You can relate to that. You can relate to that.
Yes, definitely. Go ahead. I told you, me and Brian brothers. Go ahead.
We are here. But that would have messed up my good thing. Before I met Lisa, I was single for 10 years. I was dating everybody. Okay, but I wasn't in. I didn't have my wife. But I knew my life would matter. And I always knew I would have great adventures. I would take great trips. I would take a cruise here, river cruise there. I would travel. I would do all these great things. And before Lisa, I had always imagined doing these things by myself and meeting great people there. Okay, I would take a cruise by myself and meet great people on a cruise. I would take a trip to Alaska by myself and meet great people there. That's where I imagined my life going. But once I met Lisa and got with her, all of my dreams include her. All the cool stuff I want to do it with her. All the cool places I want to go. I learned early in our relationship that she was easy to travel with. We had to take some long trips in the car. She was cool in the car. She was cool getting back and forth from plane to plane. So she wasn't aggravated to travel with. That was another plus. So all my stuff I imagined doing with her. That's the thing.
She love you, dude. Hey,
Ain't nothing wrong with it, Brian. I get it.
No, let me ask you, Maurice and Mary. What about you? Same question.
What was the question?
We forgot the question.
If there was anything you could.
They sound like Zell and John.
What would you change about the relationship if you would change anything?
I didn't change anything. I mean, it's we both were married too previously. So I mean, we've been together for 30 years. So I mean, yeah. So I mean,
damn, Craig.
We've been together for 30 years, and if we hadn't have been married previously, I think we'd have stepped in a lot of those love man lines too. You know,
landmines.
Yeah, because we had a long talk about what we expected out of each other, and
we bringing two families together.
So going back in time, I don't think I changed anything. Right. I wouldn't even change, the time that we met.
Right. It's the way we done things. It seems like it, in our relationship as we got, more and more into our relationship. It's the way we done things, and the experience. It's just like you guys. The experience helped weave that together. And again, I was a single dad. She was a single mom. She had 2 kids. I had 2 kids, and it kind of like melted together, and it grew from there.
Mm-hmm. And we never had kids living in our house either. Other than
y'all got lucky.
Yeah. We had to be this old to get by ourselves.
We got the newlywed up there. So Gina, if there was anything in your short little time in this couple of weeks, all right?
June 10th.
Yeah, right.
He said short little time.
Anything you would change?
But y'all been together for a minute though, right, Jen?
6 years.
Damn, Chris.
Is it anything? You know what? It's a question that everybody would probably answer. There's nothing, because you're at the place where you're happy, and if anything were to change, that may change the outcome of the relationship.
Exactly.
So I don't think the answer would be anything different than there's nothing I would change. I mean, some of the things that molded you to prepare for your spouse it's because God was preparing you for that spouse.
Exactly.
And so all of those other people that you met in between, those characteristics that you have, they weren't for them.
Right.
And so I would have to agree, there's nothing I would change.
Gina is being the grown up in the room.
Not only with previous relationships, but also with relation to the when we came together, because there were some things that I had to do independently before being ready to be Brian's wife.
And that's so true, Lisa, because I had lost my husband of 17 years. And so I wasn't looking for a relationship. I wasn't looking for love. I just wanted to be by myself.
And that's what you ended up with, Robert?
That's what I ended up with, Robert.
That's my brother.
And so, if I'd have met him prior to that, I wouldn't have dated him. I wouldn't have gave him the time of day. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I have to say that I was also married before, and I think it was a necessary process to go through, even never wanting to be married again. I had come out of almost a 25-year marriage before I got married to Brian. And so I had already made arrangements with God. I'm never doing this again. I mean, like, for real. Like, I thought that what I had gotten through was to set me up to be by myself. So I still had a period of healing after that relationship that I had to go through before being ready to be anybody's wife, let alone Brian's wife. I had to become independent in my thinking and in my own worth.
And she had some stuff going on before I met her. She already had a healthy business. She already had a center. She had the Empowerment Center, like a suite of offices. She had like 3 offices in the suite and a conference room, and 2 offices in the conference room. So she had some stuff going on already.
So you married for money, huh?
No. Hey, Greg. I brought the money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he brought fiscal money, but I'm telling you, I was taken care of. It was just that my money was coming a very different way than he was typically aware of.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to throw these a couple of comments out here. Earl Davis says that he wished he would have met his second wife first. That he married. He said his first wife, he was married 15 years. It was a bad decision. He's been married to his second wife for 20 years. Right decision. Wow. B.G. Howard says it is very important to remember that you have to be friends first.
Yes.
When everything else fades, diminishes, or changes, the friendship will endure for the duration.
Amen.
Yes. Amen.
I saw another cool comment earlier.
And I really believe that God orchestrated all of it. There were so many parallels that even though, like I said, I was not interested in being married again at all. I had already made all of my arrangements with the Lord. I told him what I was, who I was, what I said, Lord.
Yeah, that's how you make God laugh.
That's what I'm saying, God. I promise I will never get married again to have divorce, because
to make a deal with God.
Absolutely. Huh? To me, divorce was worst sin that I could commit. It was the hardest thing for me to deal with for myself. So having to make that deal with God, I'm like, okay, if you could just let me slide with the fornication. All right, you know what I'm saying? But Brian wasn't down with that. He wanted to be all wifed up and husband up and everything. So I had to really get a come to Jesus meeting from the Lord.
Yeah, I couldn't have her like being one of the many. I wanted her to be just
I wasn't going to be one of the many.
If you wouldn't have got my wife, if you wouldn't have came the way I wanted to, what am I supposed to do? So
you would have had to take it.
No,
because I wasn't going to be one of many. I just didn't want to be a Mrs. Nothing.
You didn't want to be one of the plethora of women.
But you know what? Nobody else mattered once I had decided on Lisa. Okay, I didn't want anybody else.
So once you found Lisa, you dried up the oasis, right?
Damn, Greg.
Somebody help me.
I don't know if I want to go off. I don't know if I want to agree 100% or not, but kind of, yeah.
But this one right here didn't want, I was still going through, a divorce and stuff, and we met on friendly terms, and I scared the crap out of her the first time we actually physically met in 1-to-1. I saw her, and I thought she was waving at me, so I waved back, and I saw where she went, and I didn't know she stayed over there. When I stayed, I went to her front door, and she's like, "Man, who the hell are you, and why
wow.
you?" Yes, he was very bold.
Right.
Yes.
Who the hell are you, and why are you at my door?
So look, you guys are in these great marriages. Congratulations. I appreciate the fact that you guys can share everything. But as great as it looks, I know there's problems that come up in these marriages. What's the hardest part of being married to you guys?
The hardest part.
Is there a hard part?
The hardest part for me.
Not you, Brian. Not you. Not your hardness. Okay.
Okay.
Lisa, I saw your look. I saw the look in your eye. The hardest part of my marriage is Brian.
She can say whatever, it's okay.
One of your viewers said communication. I think that's actually probably what makes us not have a hard marriage, because we do communicate a lot, and we always have. During our courtship, Brian would just sit and tell me stories. We would just sit and he would tell me stories, and we would talk and talk and talk. And that's probably when I was catching my breath. But
because I was trying to get some, because she would be in bed and I would just sit on the side of her bed and just tell her stories and do little magic tricks, and she would just be all into it. And I always stayed over, so
You say you're trying to get some, Lord.
Y'all thought Marcella, you thought I was playing when I told you how these two were. I was not playing.
But that really has not been difficulty with us with getting along. The arguments, even when we have arguments, like he said earlier, they're really short-lived, because, and I'm grateful for this, but I think he's really concerned for my feelings. Mm-hmm. And when he knows that he's hurt them, even if it's unintentional, he begins to rethink.
I'm gonna quickly apologize.
Yeah, he begins to rethink what happened.
I don't want you guys to think that we don't have ups and downs.
We do.
Okay? We have challenges, life challenges.
Yeah, we do.
Money challenges.
Absolutely.
Physical health.
Absolutely.
It could be anything. Okay, mm-hmm. We have ups and downs. We're both entrepreneurs. We have some seasons where we're mountaintop experiences and some valley low experiences. Yeah. But we do it together.
But it's still
that's how you handle it
when you're in the trenches together.
Yes, I don't have to explain.
We're not usually against one another. We're usually on the same side of whatever the challenge that we're dealing with. But again, when there are differences of opinion or understanding, it's usually because of a misunderstanding
that we got to get clear.
We don't usually let misunderstandings last for very long.
Nope.
Right. And also, it's in the back of your mind. The last thing you want to do is say something to hurt that other.
Yeah, right. That's the last thing I want to do, man.
That's the last.
I never want to hurt my baby.
That's exactly. That's the same way. I feel the same exact way she does too. It's the last thing you want to do is say something, out, just totally out in the left field with a catch at me, kind of thing. You just don't want to do it. And even if you think you've done it, you're going to go back and retrace those steps and make sure that wasn't the case.
There was a time when Lisa said something that really hurt my feelings, okay? It hurt my feelings.
It was mad.
Yeah.
If I think I know what you're talking about.
You might or
it was
may
at
not.
The event?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe it was. Then we got in the car. My feelings was really hurt.
He was mad. His feelings was more than hurt.
And I told her about it. And she felt bad immediately. And she apologized. That's all I needed was her to understand how it made me feel.
Absolutely.
And apologize for it. And we was good.
Absolutely. But I don't know which one you're talking about, but I remember the event that we had. We left this event and Brian was furious. He was furious, but he was trying to hold it together because not only did we have the event, then we had the after party. We had all of these things where we had to still be the empowerment duo. We had to still be on. And then when we got home, there was this grumble that was manifesting. And I'm like, what the heck is his problem? Because I was there. But again, going back to the principle of seek to understand before being understood, he began to tell me after everything, after the dust settled, he said to me, this is what happened. And how could you this? And how did this? He started laying it out. Now, as he started laying it out, I already immediately realized what the misunderstanding was. But if I had interjected before he finished expressing himself,
amazing, right there,
it would have made matters worse.
Right. If you interrupt someone explaining or arguing, if you interrupt them, that forces them to repeat it. And if you force them to repeat it more than one time or two times, then they get entrenched.
It gets bigger.
So hear me out all the way. And I hear her out. I always did. Now, at first, she didn't like that. When we have an argument, I wouldn't say nothing until she was finished. Okay, I would let her say all she got to say.
That was something we had to work on.
Yeah, we had to get there. At first, she was like, "You ain't got nothing to say. I want to hear you out all the way, baby." And before I say anything.
But the way that always came across was he wanted to make sure I didn't have an out.
That's
not
what
the way
it was.
It felt. It felt like I'm gonna let you say everything. Just say everything you want. And he's keeping track.
I'm listening.
He knows the bullet.
Like he was preparing ammunition to say, is that what you thought? Okay, so here's the truth. Blah, 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 blah,
But you know what, Lisa? That's how most people do. Either going to interrupt because they're not trying to hear you, or they're listening. A lot of times, well, most people don't listen. Because they're so busy they're so busy, hearing just part of what you're saying. And like you said, okay. Well, she just said this, or he just said this. Now let me come in here, and that's how arguments get. I love you guys. I love you guys talking about your principles and the things, how you're, I'm still single. Well, I was married before, but a lot of people don't look at it like that. And listening and communication are two biggies when it comes to relationships. And I love that you guys are saying that, because we do have, I know a lot of single people that are watching, and even couples that are married or in a relationship. What you guys are saying is good for everyone, whether you're in a relationship or not. This is good. It's using wisdom.
I can't put
and understanding how to communicate effectively is important. And when I say that, I'm really talking about, some people say that communication is listening and speaking. But one of the things that we had to learn was it wasn't just listening and speaking. You had to have the nuances. Yeah. So trying to just listen to win, that's not what you're doing.
I break it down to five characteristics of communication. Speaking, you got to be able to explain a way that the other person can understand it. Okay. Listening, you got to listen to what they're saying as well as what they're not saying. Comprehension. Sometimes people are not good at explaining something, right? And that's okay. How many times someone said, "Come to my house," and they can't explain how to get to their own house? So not everybody's going to be great at explaining things, right? And then it leads to the fourth characteristic, which is questioning skills. You have to be able to ask the right questions so that you can get the right understanding before you can respond. But listening, comprehension, and questioning. That's it. And in the questions, I lean on a Rudyard Kipling poem. I had 6 honest, serving friends. They taught me all I knew. The names of what, where, when, which, why, and who. Those 6 questions that start with a W, the skillful use of those will get you the clear communication you need in order to be helpful.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. And then we are here doing a relationship roundtable. We're talking with Brian and Lisa Santiago McNeil, right? And we got Mo and his wife, Mary. She's gracing us with her presence today. We got Gina over here without her husband. Okay, I wonder why he's not.
Wow, stop it, man.
Brian, he's always like that.
You don't like me. I'm just playing.
BG says the ideal marriage consists of a cordial competition between a man and a woman who is trying to see who can be nicer to whom. There's nothing negative in the realm of love. Earl asked the question. He says, one question: why do women always tell their husband, "You're not my daddy"? Because you challenged the manhood, is what he says. He also says that's why men are experts in tuning out from their wives. Just keep it real. You go along with the program. Now, BG said, I'm sorry, Tanisha says, hey, baby, I'm the same way. Not gonna say a word, but when it's my turn, I need you to listen. Yeah, the hell with that. BG Howard says, unfortunately, many people listen without hearing because they are too busy preparing their rebuttal.
Right.
Which is exactly the point.
That is exactly the point. And that's why it's so important to go back to the spirit of the thing. One of the things that Brian has, I want to say, successfully done since we been together was that he made a commitment. I think it was even before we got married, that he was responsible for selling himself to me every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day.
Yeah.
So every day he was selling himself, not like, okay, baby, I'm gonna sell you today. No, like going out of his way to make sure that he has earned
the right to still be her husband. And that's every day. I have to showcase something that's redeeming enough to say that I earned the space to be her husband. There's 3 sales you got to make every day. 3 you got to make every day. One is you have to sell yourself that you're valuable. Sell the person in the mirror that you matter.
Right.
You have to sell the people in your home that you occupy a certain place in their heart and that you care about them.
Absolutely.
And Lisa's that person for me. And it's important to me. Every day I have to earn the right to be her husband. Every day.
And he does.
And then the third one is you sell to the marketplace. I'm a sales coach. That's what I do. You sell to them outside. Okay, you got to make yourself available, offer your services.
Absolutely.
But the sale to yourself, on yourself, and to your woman on you, you got to do that every day. The game doesn't end. I was kind of hesitant about the competition part about who could be nice to the other because we're not trying to get 50-50. We're not trying to get 60. We both are 100-100. Okay, we do it as good as we can.
But it is important. So, oh my goodness, I'm trying not to lose my thought, and you talked over me. I can't get it. It'll have to come back. Oh, I know what it is. We have been very, very conscientious about keeping the right checklist. So the right lists.
Yeah.
So often
we don't keep negative stats.
When you get into a relationship and things start to suddenly start not feeling so great, euphoric and wonderful, you start, well, I remember the last time, I can't remember the last time you did so that and whatever this.
Yeah.
So instead
you've done that 4 times already.
Yes.
Stop keeping negative stats.
Instead of that, really go out of your way to keep the positive stats.
Yes.
I keep them by my bed or on my phone. I am often reminding myself of what has he done. Just like Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? My husband, every night, he makes sure that I have water beside my bed. He makes sure that the alarm is set. He makes sure that my devices are off and my phone is charged up. Now, that might be a small thing, but those are things that he's consistent about.
I don't want you to wake up next morning, your phone not charged or your tablet not charged.
Absolutely.
So every night I make sure all her devices are set, the volumes are down.
Wow.
So you get a call or a page or a beep or something like that. Not a page, a beep. I didn't want to hear it. So I do that every night. And I think she finds that special. And I'm glad she does. Because that's not hard to do. You know?
No, it's not. And
here's my thing. And we've said this before on the Relationship Roundtable. It doesn't take a grandiose action to let somebody know that you care about them. Also, if you got to wait until Valentine's Day or Sweetest Day to show this person to get this big, no, show that person 24 hours a day. It takes a text, a call. Let them know you're thinking about them. All right,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're not into Valentine's Day like that.
He's not into it. I still like Valentine's Day.
You like the candy.
But anyway, but like the little things, like you mentioned, little things. I know that if I am locked up in my office or happen to be out of the office for more than 2.5 hours, I know by the time it gets to 3 hours, I'm going to have a phone call, a chat, or a text. Hey, baby, you good? Or something that I know that I am an important part of his day, his life.
That's what needs to happen. Okay, Marcella, do your thing, man.
Okay, at this time, let's take a quick break to redirect, regroup, refocus with our life coach, Jeff Relaford.
And I'm gonna need you guys to comment on this one. I listened to it earlier. All right.
Okay.
Look at Jeff's perspective on this.
With another 1 minute thought. Now, listen. Now, this is the relationship show, okay? This is the relationship show. So some of y'all might disagree with what I have to say, but I'm going to repeat this to y'all because I caught it and it resonated with me and it makes some sense, okay, y'all? So hear me when I say this, people. Do not fall in love for love. Ooh, let me rephrase that too and take it a step further. Do not marry for just love. Okay? Now,
what's the meaning of that?
What I mean by this, people, is that it's very simple to say love don't pay the bills. It's very simple to say that. But when you get deeper into it, Proverbs 24, starting at verse 3, and I believe going down to verse 6, was introduced to me and to show people how your house is built off of. It's built off of wisdom. It's built off of understanding. It's built off of having those conversations with your spouse to understand each other. And love is an emotion, but love doesn't allow you to function properly with your partner. So when we have these talks about trying to understand who you're with, trying to communicate who you're with, trying to make sure that you're articulating your feelings and your emotions so your partner can better understand you, that is that work that goes on in marriage that cannot be pushed off to the back burner. So for this 1 minute thought, okay, I want you all to think about it like this. Marriage is something very delicate. Relationships are something very delicate. Start having some intention and start having some purpose as to why you are going down this path, okay? It's all cute to say you have a boyfriend. It's cute to say you have a girlfriend. It's cute to even say, we's gonna get married. But if you are not doing these things with intentions, okay, with good intentions, it kind of tarnishes and skews some things. So, all right, y'all, I know I'm a little over the time. The 1 minute thought has turned into almost a 3 minute thought, but the word minute is still in the game. So, all right, y'all, remember, it's your boy, Life Coach Jeff. Redirect, regroup, refocus. I love y'all. Peace out.
Okay. The life coach Jeff Rutherford, he said his thing. Okay, so he said, do not fall in love, do not marry just for love. What y'all
That
think?
makes a lot of sense, and it can go over some people's head because people are looking for love in someone else, and you don't marry because you think that somebody is going to make you feel loved. You should feel loved already, and sometimes it's difficult. That's why I always say some people need to stay single for a minute before getting into a relationship. Stay single for it's okay. So many people feel like they have to have somebody, but you sometimes you just got to be by yourself.
Okay.
You know, they're looking for happiness in all the wrong places and happiness in someone else. And if you don't have joy already within yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you don't love yourself, you can't find it in someone else. All this you need to have, you need to be whole, not broken into a million pieces thinking someone else is going to make you whole.
You know, I told somebody I loved them before, and you know, after we were done, it was over. Hey, Maurice, you all comment on that too. Just
I mean, I agree. I mean,
all the love, I love you.
He skeeted all the love out.
It's
all gone now, baby. It's all gone. All the love is over there on the floor, baby.
Oh wow!
Oh my! Okay.
Go ahead, Maurice.
That's it.
Marcella said moving on.
Because I want to give Lisa to have the last words on here. So go ahead.
I mean, I agree with what he's saying. Again, you must love yourself before you can love anybody. That's basically what it boils down to. And I remember, you know, my wife saying that, you know, early on. You know, I have to love myself first. You know, I have to have my happiness. You can make me more happy, but you can't make me happy. I love myself. You know, got to love myself first.
Absolutely. Brian and Lisa, so you heard what Life Coach Jeff said. We got about 10 minutes left. Okay, I don't want you to take the whole 10 minutes, but talk about it.
I was trying to parse it down because Jeff said a lot of great things there, and it brought some stuff to my mind that I want to share. Okay. It works. I agree with the premise. You don't marry for love alone. But there are some things that you can get from your spouse that you can't get from yourself.
Right.
Okay. For example, my wife had to teach me, and I was 47, 48 before I learned this lesson. And had it not been for Lisa, I probably never would have learned it. But through my life, I had learned to equate my value in direct proportion to how much money I was bringing in.
Yep.
So if I was bringing in more money, I was more valuable as a man. If I wasn't bringing in much money, I was less valuable. And my mood went up and down in direct proportion to how much money I was making in the moment. And it took my wife to show me, because trust was there. I learned to trust Lisa completely. It took her to teach me, and I didn't learn it from any other place, that my value is more than just in my money. My value is how I treat people and how I treat her and how I love God and how we treat the children and how we do everything, how we build together. There was more places for me to see value, and learning that lesson that I could have gotten in no other way has helped me to make peace when things aren't great. There's still value there. So she was necessary for me to learn that lesson. There's more I can say. You want to add anything else?
No, I think that's why love is important. I don't want to detract from it, because even biblically speaking, love covers a multitude of sins. Love suffers long and is kind. Love really is a cornerstone. The difficulty comes with the fact that love is really more often than not very difficult to define. And so when we say, oh, I love you, if you don't dig in there and understand what that means, you still could be both talking about two different things. Yeah. He might love your backstroke.
Your doggy style.
But not really understanding what Greg.
Let me say this too.
Not really understanding what the love that you mean is. It may not be reciprocal. And that's why we go back to communication, because communication still has to be fleshed out over time. Just because you use the same words, it doesn't mean that you mean the same things.
I want to add one more. Somebody need to say something before I add? Okay. Let me add this. Lisa had the center, and she was helping people. It was called the Empowerment Center. She was empowering people, small business people. And but there were some money challenges too. And when I came in, I had made some sales, and I started doing some workshops, sold some of her stuff. And there was one time where I'd gotten, I think, $1,400 from one of her clients. And Lisa says, wow, I never would even have asked for that much money or whatever. So then Lisa had seen me give workshops, and she came to me and says, Brian, I need you to teach me how to sell. She asked me that. Now, at this time, I was already in love with her. I was already smitten with her. And I tried to teach her, tried a couple of times, but I couldn't, because I couldn't treat her like a client, because I already loved her too much. I'm like, baby, I'm trying. I cannot coach you, okay, like I would coach a client, because I love my clients, but I don't love my clients like I love my wife. Okay, so it's different. So I couldn't do it because the love, that's another place where love can get in the way of some stuff. So, but what I had to teach my wife, and she's been my best student ever, okay, because she could do it. She had to glean it from what she saw me do with other people, because I couldn't do it to her directly.
Yeah. Okay. I had to sit in and steal coaching and read everything and listen to all kind of stuff, but really had to, I really got to get the essence of it through his behavior. I
couldn't even see you for exactly what it was, because I was kept trying to defend your mistakes or defend what you was doing, because I was in love with her.
Okay.
Love is really, really, it is really integral, but it really takes some time to define it.
Last point. When I first thought I was falling, I tried to think, could I not have her? Could I replace this woman? Okay. And I came up, before I was thinking, could I replace her with all that she had? And I came to this conclusion, fellas. I said, it would probably take me about 3 different women combined to replace what I could get out of Lisa. So I was like, it ain't worth it. I'm gonna keep her.
That's a good question, Brian, that a lot of people should ask, men and women. Is my life going to be happy, or am I going to be still fulfilled if I don't have this person? And I think that's a question that many people should ask. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I don't think a lot of people ask that. They don't realize that they lost a good thing until it's gone.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Bree. She said, "Oh, I love y'all." I do want to respond to Earl, because he said also jealousy can destroy a relationship.
True.
That is very true. But the way to protect against jealousy is to be vulnerable and transparent with the one
and tell the truth all the time.
Even
all
if
the
you
time.
don't look good.
But people don't realize there can be jealousy in relationships. They think because people are in a relationship, or especially married, what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. But sometimes there is jealousy in relationships, and people don't recognize it because you don't think that there's jealousy in relationships.
Well, so no one is going to be her bigger cheerleader than me, and she's not going to let anybody be my bigger cheerleader than her.
No, but jealousy can even come from inside the relationship. I think, if I'm hearing Gina correctly.
That's correct. That's exactly what I'm speaking on, Lisa. Yes.
I love when you shine.
We're not, but understanding what I was speaking of is also making sure that, and again, going back to the Bible, avoid any impropriety, even the appearance of impropriety, because that appearance of impropriety is a foreshadowing of what could be.
You want to get deleted out of my stuff? Flirt with me or try to get with me. Cut, slice, and dice.
Man, it's so much. I know it's so much more you guys have to give out. Man, we're running out of time. We got to do a part 2.
I hate clocks. I hate the time.
We have to do a part 2 though. You guys got to come back to our next relationship forum, because it's so much information you giving out.
Well, you guys, like I told Greg, y'all make it easy for us to be ourselves. I felt like last time I told her I liked everybody on there that I met today. I told
even Marcy,
huh?
Even Marcella.
Boy, hush.
Yes, even Marcella. I like everybody.
And we know Marianne and our brother always give out good information, because they got those years behind them. You don't see that these days.
No.
Man, are you guys holding hands, Maurice and Marianne? Are you guys holding hands? That is so cute. And
love it.
It's the little things. It's the little It's the little things that count.
Favorite couple right there.
Yes, it's the little things that count, and a lot of people don't realize.
I'm holding hands
like that.
Greg holding his own hand.
Hey,
you gotta use that hand sometime during the day.
Sometimes after 11 o'clock, it's good to hold that hand. But hey, Brian and Lisa, man, you know we love you guys. Bree, yes. Greg, really, you know me, Bree. So yes, really, I have no filter. Stop.
Hey, Bree.
You guys, to me, you, Mo, and Mary as well, you guys exemplify patience, love, long suffering. You guys exemplify exactly what the Bible says, okay?
And
those vows that you guys took with one another, it's evident, it's clear that you guys are following those vows, all right? You haven't mistaken anything that's in those vows. You haven't taken anything out of context. You follow God's plan, all right? And I appreciate you guys for coming to and hanging out with us. And again, like Gina said, because I knew when I started, I knew at the beginning, I'm like, you know what, we ain't gonna have time. We are not gonna have time, all right? And sure enough, there it is, all right, man. Hey, Brian, Lisa, man, again, I'm gonna say this, and I mean it. Platform is yours, man. Y'all come back anytime y'all get ready, and hopefully, I'm going to invite you guys to the next roundtable. If you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. All right. But if you do come anyway. wipe it up. Wipe it up. Anyway, this is
Lord.
This Negro.
Greg, come on.
You just call him. You just keep calling him. Bree says, please have them back. Bree, yes. Every relationship roundtable, every relationship roundtable, I'm invite them. They may not come to all of them, but I'm inviting them to come through and hang out with us. All right, y'all family.
Thank you for inviting us, and we will make every effort to come back. Definitely enjoyed our
Can't
time.
help but to love them. Can't help but to love them.
Oh, we love y'all back. Thank you. Thank you. Your audience
some
is
people are
very
easy
smart.
to love.
Your chat is very smart.
We appreciate you guys coming through, hanging out with us, man. Okay, tomorrow, man, my good friend, Mr. Hollywood producer, Mr. I got it all. I do this. I've been all over the world, okay? Hollywood producer Mark Casey will be on tomorrow. He has his new movie out, Sasha Lanes. You guys, please, before the show, check out Sasha Lanes tonight. It's on Tubi and it's on Amazon. Check it out, and we'll be talking with him tomorrow. Again, man, yes, Bree, we're going to have him back, all right? And Brian, Lisa, we love you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming through and sharing your journey with us.
Amen.
All right, this is Dope Living TV Live, man. We got to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, all right?
All right.
Right.